The Opie and Anthony Show.
Moving right along here.
There he is.
We welcome to the show for the first time, Pete Holmes.
Take a seat.
Promoting the Pete Holmes Show.
I've
That
seen,
works out pretty good.
Premiering Monday,
his
October
commercials.
28th at midnight on TBS.
I see your commercials
You
all
saw
the time.
those?
Hell yeah, man.
You saw televised commercials?
I saw the televised commercials.
That's exciting. This is exciting. Thank you so much.
Is it really exciting?
I'm watching
we have-
Seinfeld or something, and you pop on there.
Interrupting the best comedy
I know, I'm
ever.
like,
Just
what
like
the
this
fuck?
doughy, amorphous
This
face.
guy is
I am a rhombus, and they gave me a show. Wearing clothes that obviously aren't mine. They told me this is what handsome is. I'm doing my best, fellas, but I am a fraud. I need help. Can you help me? But I'm glad you saw it. This is a thrill to be here. I'm a big fan of the show. I love this.
Oh, my
you guys are
goodness.
legends. And
So that
Oh,
means
please.
we'll be booked on your show, right?
of course, yeah.
All right. I
You
look
want
forward
on?
to... Huh?
You do that sort of stuff? You guys are
Oh,
here
my God.
5 days a week.
Oh, I know. We worked
If we're
very
asked,
hard
we're
here
never
on-
asked.
Never asked.
Well, we have been
We've
asked.
done all the big shows, but we do them like once or twice, and that's about
Does that
it.
never go away? I mean, here you are at the top of the radio mountain, and you're
I like
still,
this.
yeah, right. I'm gonna break you right open.
Oh, I like this.
That just reminds me of comedians. You know, it always is like kind of like, why aren't they asking?
Oh, it's
like the
never
biggest
enough.
guys I know are like,
Right.
why didn't they ask me to host the open mic?
Yeah. It's never enough.
Relax.
No, TV's way cooler for us.
Is
This
it?
radio thing's easy, and it's like almost who cares? at
TV's
this
pretty
point.
cool.
TV's cool.
Gotta admit.
But
Right.
people know your faces. I guess
Yeah, because of the social, media and
That
stuff.
helps.
Finally, but we went years with no one really knowing what we looked like.
Sure.
Those posters in the neighborhood.
you got to get on them. Wait, what do you mean?
Yeah, around Halloween. Put the fucking
The
photos
law
up.
says I have to put them up.
Exactly. I'm not allowed to give candy out.
But that leads to a lot of frustration. I'm not trying to bring in some obscure credit of mine, but I drew New Yorker cartoons for a time.
No shit.
No
Oh.
more frustrated group of, because that's show business too. It's just
Right.
like this weird subsect.
Yeah.
No one knows
Speaking
what
of
Jack
Seinfeld,
Ziegler
of
looks
course.
like. Yeah, there you
That
go.
was
Bruce
that
Eric Kaplan
episode.
wrote that episode.
That's a great,
Who is a New Yorker cartoonist.
Wow, he did?
Yeah, and a very, very funny television producer.
It's a Ziggy.
I liked the kitty.
It's fucking great, man.
Hey, wait, would you come up with the cartoons or just draw the picture that someone else conceptualized?
They won't let you do that. It's kind of like stand-up, and it's like you got to write your own material and you got to draw it. And they used to be like, this looks like you drew it with your foot, and it took me a really long time, hundreds of cartoons before they finally let me.
Wow.
And just like show business, it's because Jack Ziegler, who's kind of a big deal there, saw it and liked it and put in a word for the kid. I was submitting every week, and they would just
Wow.
like they were nice about it, but they would pretty much laugh at my
But
horrible drawing.
did you notice that, like the Seinfeld episodes, sometimes you read them and go, I don't even know what that means.
I am a. Can you swear?
Yeah.
Please
I'm
do,
a
Pete.
goddamn professional comedian, and there's so many that I look at. I'm like, no, you have failed. You have failed. I know comedy. I lived in New York. I know subtlety. I know auteur. I know these words.
Interoffice politics.
Yeah, there's no way. There's nothing that I haven't experienced. I should get this cartoon.
Yeah.
It's a goldfish shrugging. Well, the Republicans must know. What? What does that mean? Exactly.
Jimmy used to do a bit on the show, which I loved, and I wish we'll bring it back someday. Him reading the comic strips in the newspaper.
Oh, that's
the
great.
funny paper. They're so
The
awful.
funny papers, and it's just unbelievable.
That just seems like a
It's
medium that it's archaic. It should have been done away with
Sure,
years
right.
ago. The comic strip in the paper where you're literally picking up paper and reading it. It's like,
You get it on
what
your
is
hands.
this? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Throw your silly putty on it. It's from the 30s.
silly putty.
Stretch it out.
Why is it still in
Marmaduke.
the paper? Like Hager the Horrible. Who reads this?
Who's writing it? Who's at home
Who's
going,
still writing that?
Hagar,
You go,
Hagar.
what would this?
Something with a ham on a platter? I got nothing.
Yeah.
As long as no one badmouths Kathy, because Kathy is terrific. That's a smart person.
Looking for a guy still.
Yeah.
Isn't she just a girl, Garfield? Doesn't she hate Mondays? And
Yeah. It's
needs
that
love?
whole. And her mom is always giving her flack about her lack of relationships.
But she's from the 60s.
Oh yeah, they're all like
Good news
Brenda
to-
Starr.
Good news, the paper says today Doonesbury is on vacation and will return November 18th.
Thank God that fucking comic.
Thank God it's just on vacation.
I never get what they're talking about, and then the few times I do, it just annoys me.
Yeah, of course.
It's very.
When I was a kid, I thought when I grew up I would get Doonesbury. I'm no closer. There's a cigarette talking to the congressman, and you're just like, what the fuck is this? I don't know these words. words.
It's like, I guess I better just move to fucking Peanuts.
That's as close as a kid comes to feeling like you have to go to work. You're reading the funnies, and you're like, Garfield, he delivers. Kathy, a classic. Doonesbury, give me a cup of black coffee.
Doonesbury.
Focus. You gotta focus.
Can I just remain a kid for a little longer?
It was a reminder.
Taking my innocence.
Yeah, your innocence is fleeting. You will one day have a job, and this will be what you think is supposed to be funny.
Marmaduke, help me.
Yeah, Doonesbury. Worse than the creepy father's Family Circus.
Family Circus.
I used to like when they had the little foot map of where they'd been that day.
Oh,
But it was always hilarious.
Oh, it was cute.
They went in a lot of circles.
Oh, adorable.
It was tough to get from point A to point B.
Yeah.
He didn't go straight.
Nope.
He's a child. He's got a nickel in his pocket. He's going to go to that candy shop. And then he's going to see a dog and get distracted.
We get it.
Yeah.
Terrible.
This is a real... Oh, sorry.
I like when the footsteps disappear and then you just see like a little drawing of Ariel Castro's van.
Yeah, that gets applause.
no.
break.
Yeah, he's
Applause
dead.
break.
That's an applause.
Last
break right
panels
there.
an Amber Alert.
This is a real...
Wait, before we move on,
Sorry.
did you hear how he died? We haven't even talked about it yet.
Oh, yeah.
Ariel Castro.
They said, yeah.
He was doing the sex thing. The
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
Right, yeah.
That's just what
He
they
was found
say.
with his pants down.
That's when the Illuminati kills you. We all know that.
Yeah.
I don't mean to burr it out here, but that's true.
There's
no
part
way.
of the Illuminati.
Yeah,
True.
yeah. The shape-shifting lizard people have a great sense of humor, and if they're going to murder you, they're going to make it look like you were jerking it in a new way.
Yeah.
That's the way they take you
Maybe
out.
that's what happened. Maybe the guards killed him and then dropped his pants like in The Wire
Right.
to make it look like fucking he committed
they did
suicide.
that.
That's exactly
Okay.
right.
It
You
might
can't plant crack on someone like that, but everyone has a dick.
Yeah.
You get
All
his
right,
dick
you know
out.
what?
Hey, he had a
I
dick.
forgot the crack. Take it out.
Plausible deniability.
Stupid me. I was believing the story. That's just dumb nowadays.
Well, David Carradine too.
Yes.
But that's a big. I can't represent this conspiracy well, but he also was
I heard that
supposedly
too.
died from.
And he had some
yes.
girly clothes on him, too.
Yeah, but I
What
mean,
about the girly clothes?
Yeah.
girly clothes?
The girly
He was
clothes.
dating a girl.
He had the girly clothes
There are
on.
things. I'll be hosting a show. I need to learn that move
Girly
right there.
clothes.
What about them girly clothes?
Yeah,
and then
girly
just back
Well,
to
it keeps it keeps it family friendly.
Yeah,
there,
yeah,
Pete.
yeah. I know.
You gotta
I
learn
loved
that.
it. I loved it. But that, I forget what it was, but he must have owed money or something. But people on the internet
there was
really
some
blew up and
kind
were
of
like,
issue.
wow.
Wait, if it's a what's better than that? A revenge kill? You murder your nemesis and you make everyone talk about the girly clothes he was wearing.
To make it hurt.
Yeah.
Death isn't good enough for this guy. Let's make it hurt after he's dead.
Nobody's
He
doing
was found
that.
with girly clothes on.
Nobody's doing Jim.
No,
Autoerotic
never.
asphyxiation.
Although I will say I have been choked while jerking off, but very rarely. It's not my thing.
Wait,
No.
someone else choked you.
Yeah.
That's the safe way to do it.
Yeah.
How did it feel?
Well, it felt okay for a couple of minutes, but I couldn't go full bore.
Couple
on it.
minutes?
No,
How
I mean
long?
on and off. You saw, you know, it wasn't
yeah,
the
of
fucking
course,
Luca
okay.
Brasi, Johnny Olon being I came on my shoes.
I've had girls ask to choke them. They're like, "Oh, just choke me a little
choke
bit."
a lady?
And I put my hand there and I start pushing. I'm just like, "Oh,
creepy,
I
right?
can't do this.
It doesn't feel
It
right.
doesn't feel right."
Well,
What happened?
sex is already violent. I mean, like it's a violent. It's a weird. It's aggressive. It's not
Yes,
violent.
there
It's
is an aggressive thing going on.
I have a theory that even kissing. I do this bit on stage. Forgive me. I don't think it's loving to tell your girlfriend that, like, oh, boo boo, I love you. I want to roll you in powdered sugar. I don't think that's real intimacy. Real intimacy to me is tenderly explaining to my girlfriend that I could kill her unarmed. I find that very funny. That's true, and that's real. That's not a bit. That's true.
Right.
I get these little girlfriends because I'm a giant, and I'm just like, you could stop me for a bit. I think that's real love.
You probably
'Cause I
fight
don't-
it off, but you're going to get tired
Yeah,
real fast.
But I don't. I choose. I love you. I never would. That's what everything, like kissing is basically, I could be eating you. I could be biting you.
Right.
Like I'm kissing your neck, your sensitive areas, and sex itself is very aggressive. And you're like, but look,
yeah.
it's safe. There's thrusting and yelling.
It's pleasure with the threat of violence, almost mimicking violence, but a pleasurable
That's what I'm
outcome.
saying.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
something
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of Aztec-y, sort of
Yeah,
like
yeah.
human sacrifice about it. It's like this is
Human
right
sacrifice,
at the cusp of a volcano, but I'm not going to throw you in. And you're not going to throw me in. And the person choking Jim didn't throw him in.
Right.
That's why that's like an instinct to be like, it's all cannibalism.
But what happens in your? What happened while you were growing up that you need this shit to be choked out and stuff?
I don't know.
man.
Or is he just highly evolved?
No, he's really. Jimmy's not even really into it.
No, I'm not even into it.
Yeah, Jimmy's not into it.
I'll do it to a girl if she really wants to, but even that
Does that turn you on, though?
Not really. It feels uncomfortable to choke
I
her
meant
too
him
much.
being choked. I meant
that
you.
the sensation was okay, and the fact that she was doing something so inappropriate, but it was just to try it a few times. It's not a fetish for me at all.
Can I just say that's an interesting thing about sex fetishes? I was reading this thing about porn. I've been off porn, and it's not, I have no ethical problem. I'm just giving it a break. I've been reading about. I know. I still
Wait.
No, I understand that
Just give you a
vibe.
little, just a little heads up.
Yeah.
It's still out there.
It's still going strong.
Let you know,
You mean
it's still
they're
there.
not suffering from my lack of business?
No,
like the guy that's like.
Wait, what research have you done that you're off it for a while?
I'll tell you a good one. Well, it's boring stuff, but it's kind of like about how your brain can't tell the difference between like a fantasy and reality, and like it starts to numb you. I'll tell you this:
Yeah.
I went off porn and
Does it really?
I went off,
Absolutely.
oh my god! I went
Absolutely.
off porn and jerking it for 2 months. 2 months. Are you
That's
listening?
great.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Then I had sex with this girl. I see. Amazing, because you're allowing yourself to need someone else instead of just scratching an itch every time you have it and shooting a blank into the air whenever you have the urge. You actually are. That's love. You're needing someone else to help you, and you're more present. I didn't know I was going to get all Tony Robbins. But like you're more. It was the best sex of my life, and it was wonderful for her too.
What a great way to put it. You allow yourself to need somebody. You're right about the numbing, totally.
Yeah,
what
yeah.
a fucking great way to put it. Allow yourself, instead of scratching every itch you get.
Yeah.
God
just sitting
damn
it out and go, I need somebody, and I don't have anybody. I'm just going to eat a sandwich and wait it out.
To fucking watch TV.
But we make fun of the kids today. We're just as bad. We're all instant gratification monsters. And just like, I want pizza, and you're eating pizza 20 minutes later, and then we're looking at kids tweeting. We're tweeting with our fucking
Were you
pizza.
jonesing, though? Were you jonesing for it?
Well, porn?
Yeah, were you jonesing?
Well, I'll tell you the story. I was talking about being off porn on stage. And then I got off stage, and this guy came up to me, and he goes, this is completely true. Every word of what I'm saying is true. He goes, Peter, I just want to say congratulations. And I thought he meant the show. I was like, oh, thanks, man. I hope you like the show. And he goes, no, on your abstinence. On your abstinence. Congrats. It's hard to keep that beast off your back. It's been 2 years for me. 2 years. Stay strong. Congratulations.
Holy shit.
Now, I grew up religious, and I don't like the word abstinence. So the first thing I did when I got home was fired up the laptop and reluctantly jerked it. It wasn't even...
totally fucked up your shit.
He did. He broke my streak because nobody tells me what to do.
Right.
You understand? I'm not in your weird abstinence
Don't
club.
compliment me, you fucking douche.
You
I'm not
fucking
like
weirdo.
you.
Nobody tells me when to feel good. I'm King Ralph.
I'm gonna jerk off if I feel like it.
I didn't even want to. It was an act of defiance against this guy who has no stake in my life. But I was like, this is my time. Here's the other interesting jerky jerk stuff and this is what made me think of it with the choking and people that kind of get to a certain point where you need to do weirder and weirder things.
Yeah.
People that get really, really into porn. Straight people will start to watch stranger and stranger things, and that's true in my life. You start with some, I don't know, a girl playing with herself, and
all
you're like,
you
yeah,
need.
this is what I'm doing. You know, it's kind of like a parallel
Camaraderie,
universe.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a good solidarity jerk. And then you work your way up to whatever, and then before you know it, people are squirting and all this sort of stuff. And who have you become? And that gets even crazier if you stay on that train and if you have a certain personality. And what I read about that was very interesting is straight men that, I mean, they might be lying, but they're saying they're straight for sure. They're like, I am a straight person. I started watching gay pornography. This isn't me, but this is other people. I shouldn't say this because out of context.
Yeah, right.
They would start watching gay pornography, like guy-on-guy pornography, because it was the only thing that was a taboo anymore.
The only thing left that isn't
they need
shocking.
to shock. They need to shock. Like I've heard
To the system, yeah.
people have straight sex. They have sex with their girlfriends, and they need to turn on gay pornography. There needs to be some sort of taboo.
Wow.
I know.
I don't
Because
like gay pornography, but I do understand the taboo part. Like the transsexual stuff, it feels taboo. Like watching that, all of that shit feels things like like I'll smell a girl's foot now, which never used to turn me on, but it's something different, something.
It's not on her body at the time, which
Exactly,
is really
yes. Jerome
that's
Brutus.
the sickest part of it.
No, what you do is like if it was a hooker, I would want to have loving moments with her, and if
Yeah.
it was a girlfriend, I would want her to tell me how she'd rather be
hooker
fucking
moments.
someone else.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Completely the opposite.
That
Completely
makes
inappropriate.
perfect sense.
I've seen the gay porn, but I got to tell you, from the other side of the camera. them fucking or sucking each other up isn't even the worst part. When they start getting real intimate,
it's the
kissy,
kissing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
It's the vacation planning.
yes,
The
yes.
mimosa pouring is it's really what gets you
I
going.
love this part. They're having a tiff.
Exactly.
They leave that in.
Yes.
They're more in touch with their
Yes,
emotions.
they are.
It's a good thing.
Kip feels fat, and Noel is not comforting him.
Well, here's my theory on all this taboo stuff is that like sex being immoral. Like I said, I grew up religious, so I honestly think the best fucking is like religious fucking. If you think sex is bad,
Oh, wow.
and you fuck, it's the best. I swear, I've said this on my on my own podcast. Fuck like you're going to hell for it. It's the greatest thing. It's fun to take off your pants because you can't take off your pants. You know what I mean? Like if you're a hippie and you're a fully evolved person and you understand that there's nothing wrong. This is all true. Nothing wrong with the human body. Nothing wrong with sex or sexuality. Fucking is probably great and beautiful and spiritual, but it's not going to have that dirty charge.
Yeah.
Like, I shouldn't be
Like you're doing something wrong.
The pastor of my church had an affair, and I bet that was like
The best thing
The best
ever.
fucking
Oh,
thing
he
in
must
his
have
Wait,
loved
how
it.
religious were you?
Yeah.
You brought it up a couple times.
Yeah, I know. It's
And
just
where'd
to
it go
give you some
wrong?
context.
What religion?
Regular.
A Catholic?
Right. You know, the real one, the correct, proper one.
No, I grew up Protestant, which is funny because Catholicism is, of course, older.
But how deep were you guys into it as a family?
It was kind of my thing, to be honest. I was
Okay.
raised that way, but then I was looking for identity, just like anybody. So I look like a youth pastor. I make that joke a lot. I almost was a youth pastor.
Wow.
But then I got divorced, and that's kind of a cliche, but that's when it went sideways a little bit for me.
Yeah.
And it was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
What do you believe in?
What do I believe in now?
Yeah.
Just about everything. I'm just like one of those weird people that is curious about everything religious and spiritual, but also nothing. I mean, like believing in everything also believes in nothing. I love atheists. I love atheism. I love people that are hardcore science, but I also love these kind of more nutty people that believe it.
Do you have this thought of like one single entity that kind of rules over everything?
Yeah, that we are all
Okay.
part of one consciousness that we call God.
okay.
Yeah, and we're the eyes of the universe observing itself. Does Deepak record here?
Yeah, down the hall.
I could totally
We've had him
jump
on.
his. Have you had him on?
We've had Deep
Yeah,
Fog
it
on.
was fun to
yeah.
watch that documentary with him and his son did.
'cause his
you
son
can see
doesn't
is
respect
having up
him.
to here with him.
Right.
Oh, his son is
Oh, yeah, you got to see it.
fed up.
Yeah, his son was.
His son basically thinks he's full of shit.
Really?
You need to know the truth, yes.
That's surprising. That's typical.
It's great. It's a really good documentary.
What is it called? I'm going to write that down.
Oh, God.
Decoding Deepak.
Very good, yes.
No, I could see that was a great. There was a great one-woman show. It was the woman that played Pat. I'm forgetting her name. Sweeney.
yeah.
Something Sweeney, maybe.
Yeah,
she
it
did a
was
one-woman
Sweeney.
show called "Letting Go of God," which I listened to right after my divorce because I looked at my faith as like a room, and there was
Julia
all this,
Sweeney.
Julia Sweeney.
Oh, very good.
There was all this
You can
furniture in it,
imagine.
and that was like my religion furniture. And then when I got divorced, I kind of took everything out and decided what I wanted to put back in. But that added choice to it. You know what I mean?
yeah.
I just inherited this furniture from my church and from my family. And then I was a grown man for the first time in my life, and I was like, maybe this end table is fucked. Maybe this end table that hates gays is going out the window. maybe that one doesn't come back. Maybe this one that's this lamp that says all Jews are going to burn forever in conscious eternal torment. Maybe that's not in vibe with my Jesus.
Shit, that's funny.
I'm going to keep the Jesus rug because he's all right. But then the weird Deepak one. I'd love
Yeah.
But also, you know, I don't have any idols. If Deepak is full of shit, then that's fine.
That's
I think
fine, too.
People
Right,
should be
right.
allowed to be a little bit full of shit. When did, like, as a host, as somebody that's about to host a show, there's this standard that you're supposed to, like, know everything and read books and shit. I'm a fucking dummy. I'm a dumb all day.
Welcome to the club.
Exactly. I put on a blazer and I host a show, and suddenly I'm already getting mad at people, things that they haven't said yet. But like, I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah,
going to be the same stupid person that isn't going to know things. Like, why should Deepak Chopra be right all the time? Why shouldn't his son be fed up with him?
Yeah.
Why shouldn't he say some things that he's regretting or are just complete bullshit?
I respect that Deepak allowed that out there.
Absolutely.
He could have told his son, no fucking way are we doing this. But he said, sure, why not?
Really?
We'll have fun with it. Yeah.
I think because he owns that whole, like, that's a side of me. I'm
Right.
full of shit.
We like Deepak.
Yeah.
He's all right.
He had the best Twitter, like he has Twitter haters. And when he got a Twitter hater, somebody was like, you suck, you're full of shit, I hate your face, whatever. He wrote back, he quoted the tweet and he said, I am your reflection. which I just think, isn't that the best?
That's great.
Fucking suck on that righteous dick.
That's where all that shit comes from, though.
I wish
man.
I could think of that instead of writing, fuck you, your mother's a whore.
I know.
That's where all that shit comes from, if you really want to get into it.
Of course it is.
That's what they feel about their fucking selves, man.
Why would you
Period.
have such a strong reaction unless you were seeing the tumor growing in you? You're like,
that's exactly where it comes from.
Is that why I tweet other men and go, "You're a lousy fuck. You might be gay."
Yeah, just let it all out on Twitter. That's
I
what
just
it's there
attack other
for.
people with my own stuff.
Help yourself. Help yourself.
Oh my god, I'm looking forward to the show, Pete.
Oh, I hope you like it.
Because I've
sincerely do.
never talked to you, and I swear I don't know much about your stand up, but you're entertaining as all hell.
Well, thanks, man.
Are you excited?
I'm very excited.
Yeah, you gotta be.
And I guess you have to be a really tall dude to do late night talk shows.
You got to be 6'5" and from
Are you
Massachusetts.
6'5"?
Yeah.
Wow.
Me and Conan are pretty much the same height. I'm about an inch taller than him, but that's what his hair is.
That's because when you stand up to greet the guest, you can never have the guest taller than you. It puts you on this, like, oh, now I have to kind of
Letterman's tall.
Yeah.
Cohen's tall.
I don't think Leno's any weird height, is he?
He's got that
5'10"
huge head,
maybe?
though, which confuses
Yeah,
everybody.
the head is 5'11". Then you put on the torso, you're doing pretty good.
Letterman's like freakishly tall. Yeah, like,
He's really tall.
John Stewart, he wouldn't mind me saying, we actually just interviewed him for
He's tiny.
the show. He's tiny.
He used to do our show.
But we sat on his desk and we looked the same height.
Huh.
Of course, like
So you must have really tiny little legs and a giant torso.
Are you gonna do that though? Make sure your head's taller than the guest.
Well, I'm gonna have to be in a pit so I don't scare my guests.
That's true.
They're gonna look like I'm gonna eat their bones or something.
Andy Kaufman did a great bit on that, where he was a talk show host in a sketch, and he made his desk literally 12 feet high.
Oh, that's great.
And the guest had to look straight up to the,
like a pharmacist.
Yeah,
It's so obnoxious.
It was so over the top obnoxious.
Yeah.
But he picked up on the fact that the talk show host has to always be, taller on camera.
We're not doing the desk. Somebody,
you not?
Yeah, I got stopped by the old TMZ on the way in. Nice fella, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, we know him very well.
Adam.
Adam's cool.
Sweetheart. We did shows at the Boston. We used to bark at the Boston together.
Oh, wow. Did you
Isn't that
block?
crazy?
Were you there when Louis Schaefer was there?
No, I was there when Dustin Chafin was
okay.
there. Yeah. Well, this is an old club on West 3rd
Yeah.
Street
It's now
that I
something
used to
else.
hand out. I'll tell you this. I know you guys are the same way. And Jim, I know you're the same way for sure. Now that I'm old, I'm 34 and things are going my way and that feels wonderful. Now more than ever, I love my war stories. I'm like an old man.
Yeah.
I exaggerate them all. I know I'm exaggerating. Like barking means you hand out flyers, for those of you who don't know. And I did.
For your own show, right?
Yeah, for your own. That's a special humiliation that you need. That's a shit sandwich.
I
that you
feel
have to
bad
eat.
for those guys. I always do pass them by. Maybe I should stop, but I feel bad
A lot
for
of
them.
times they're liars. They're handing you
Yeah.
stuff and going, "Hey, Comedy Central taping?"
Yeah.
Like, they're not taping. Shut up. You're sending me some shitty club with comics I don't know.
You often are. And then the look on the tourist's face when the show starts and it's fucking
they're like,
Angry Joe. And you're like, Jesus Christ.
why?
Comes out and that was a pretend comedian.
I love Angry Joe.
Angry Joe. But so now I tell the story, New York winters, handing out flyers and handing out a flyer to a show you're on. And then often, I'm kind of remiss to say this, it was a show that I didn't believe in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's bad. It's like Tupac said about the projects. It's like, we're not supposed to be afraid of the projects because we're black. They're scary to us, too. The show was also terrible to me. I knew it was, and I was terrible.
And
that's the real fuck all of being a comedian. It's the first 4 or 5 years, you're aware that you're not. You know what you want to be doing. You know what it sounds like to kill.
You got the vision. You just got to get there.
You got to sell yourself, though, by handing out these flyers.
Exactly.
Come on, people.
I couldn't do a bringer. I didn't have 5 friends.
Go back to the no desks. So how's this going to look?
I'd like to have a nice flow between the people. 2 chairs, 2 kind of like,
Stools?
not stools, something they can sit back on. You know what was a consideration? As I was like, oh, it'll be a thing. We'll sit on a couch, and as you can tell, I like talking and gabbing, so I get along with girls really well. And I was like, oh, it'll be fun. We'll sit on a couch, and all the guests will wear sweatpants. Like, it'll just be like this cozy kind of fun, safe time. And Conan's like, you don't want some of the guests to wear sweatpants, meaning if you have Kate Upton on the show, you want her to wear a sexy
some
dress.
legs.
Right, you want
know
to
what I mean? I didn't even think of that sort of stuff. And then I was like, oh, and we'll have this huge picture. I love the movie Drive. This huge Drive poster in the background. And he's like, there's a reason why the sets look the way they do. You don't want someone looking at the poster of Drive behind you.
Wow.
They want you
There's
to,
like
so I started learning
very
all this stuff.
calculated things that they
figure
do.
this shit out.
They figured it out. But there's a couple things that I'd like to say we're going against and be like, well, we'll see if we can do it differently.
Monologue?
Well, it's so weird that you say that because that's the main
It's
thing.
talk show.
It's the main thing I'd like to change, though.
Oh, really?
It's like we have a monologue, but
But you would be good at it because you're a stand-up.
But I want it to be more like my stand-up. I would say that's the main difference that people will notice. First, we're gonna have a lot more sketch. We do these videos like these Batman parodies on College Humor that are very stylized. They look great, and it's me playing someone else. So I don't think you see that too much. So I'd like to roll in with like a cold open like that, and then the monologue. I really want it to be more like stand-up. And Jimmy, you'll know this is like more on one topic, stay on one topic for 3-4 minutes. Right. Maybe talk about something that's going on in your life. I just don't
It's
see
usually
that.
very news oriented. One liner.
A Vermont man found. I watched a monologue on an airplane with the sound off, and it wasn't anything. It was Fallon. It's nothing against Fallon. The sound was off, and I knew what was happening.
You know
what I mean? And I was like, I'd just like it to be a little bit less polished. Now, okay.
It's all very Johnny Carson.
Of course.
It came from that.
It's very
and
Kathy.
It's all very.
It's very Kathy.
It's Hey Gone to Horrible. It's a comic strip. It's back to
very
that.
and I know exactly what you're saying with the sound off. You could see kind of the little step up to the camera, the turn, address the audience, and then the hit back with the eyes open and a little shake your head.
Yeah.
It's like
cadence. The cadence.
He just set up the joke. He delivered it. Now the audience is reacting, and he's reacting to that.
Right.
You're right. You could absolutely tell what's going on.
That's why what I'm doing with my talk show
Oh, Jimmy!
is I'm doing a monologue, but in the background on a screen, beheading videos are being shown.
See, now that's something no one has thought of
And they're going
doing.
to say, this guy's so magnetic, we don't even notice the skull
I can't even
my
upstage a Drive
God.
poster. You're upstaging Al Jazeera. That's amazing. That's truly incredible. But we want the monologue to be more like my stand-up and more personal.
Right.
And have the show just in general be more transparent. Not to say the others aren't transparent, but like we want to be very transparent, very authentic.
There's a very set mold to the late night talk show.
Right.
It's just this thing that it's become. And even though people have moved some things around and done some things differently, I think Kimmel has done things a lot to kind of bring social media into the forefront and stuff. But it's still that thing that you look at and go, there's your late night talk show.
Right. It's a trope. It's a thing.
Yeah.
You're doing a band.
No band.
No band.
No band
First of all,
either.
we're
DJ.
No DJ.
Interesting. So how's that going to work?
Just
see,
nobody-
see how uncomfortable it makes me? I'm like, wait, how's that going to work?
My show gets pre-canceled. No band. Somebody at TBS is listening.
All right. I like that, though. I like people thinking out of the box.
Yeah, no band. I really think, just the fact that we're going to roll in with like a video.
So you're not going to have like a fucking guy at drums or anything. Oh, yeah,
I know, it's always-
how you going to do the stingers?
And we're back.
What about the stingers?
See, I need a band, though, because I like after every joke, I like when they go like, really strengthens it.
Or point to them and have them play when the There's a reason. It's
I
hard.
like no band.
It's hard for me to say this because all the things they do, it's a volume business. You're doing a show every day. So why do you have a band? Because you got to fill time. Why do you have a bunch of guests? Because you got to fill time. Why do you have bands and comedians? Because you got to fill time. You're filling time. You're spinning plates constantly. So to be this idiot, and please keep in mind I'm an idiot, new kid on the block, following Conan and all that sort of stuff and being like, I'm going to shake things up. I mean, have me on in 6 months and talk to me then. Maybe I'll be like,
We would love to have you on. We'll help you
Vermont
push
man
this.
found a beaver in the garden.
We're going to pull out this tape.
Yeah.
You go right to the desk, the band, the shit, everything.
Yeah. Now that we have a budget, now we got a band.
Right.
Eubanks is in. We got Eubanks.
I was a little naive when I first started thinking that.
Yeah. I was a fool. But we're giving it a go. We're making a run at it.
We played the game back in the day on NBC.
You
did?
Oh,
What
God.
do you mean?
We were hosting a pregame show for the XFL.
Oh, that thing.
And we didn't believe in it, but we're like, this is fucking NBC. Fuck what we believe.
Yeah, of course.
I believed in the check.
Of course you
It
did.
was It was on the real NBC.
Yeah.
And we made,
God.
I don't know, like 4 or 6 before they canceled it. But
But that's what
we
the
look
name
back
of
and
the
we're like,
game.
yeah, that's not us. Of course course it's not us, but it was NBC. We were walking through the NBC studios.
Well,
it changes everything.
It's a good show. You did that thing where you ran after the football.
All right.
But I'll meet you over at 30 Rock.
That's what we got to say to each other.
That's right.
Great.
So fuck what you believe in.
All that, yeah, exactly. But when you're starting, and that road leads to the Opie and Anthony show, and my show, similar, just the Pete Holmes show. You know what I mean? Like that's where you want to go. But I was just talking to my one of the funniest comedians ever. I'm sure you know him, John Mulaney.
Yeah, John's great.
We just had him on for the first time.
He's the king.
He fucking funny.
He's the king. He really is the king. And we were talking about all those. Again, loving war stories, especially when something goes your way. His show just got picked up on Fox. Now we both love sitting like old men in a diner, which we always did, but now we're just kind of like different. And we're like, we love talking about the horrible commercials we auditioned for and the humiliating jobs that we said yes to and the bad jokes that we made. Like, we're very grateful for the things that we did, but like, I used to pretend to care about Rihanna. You know what I mean? Like, have you seen the new tattoo with like a bright color behind me? Whoa! Rihanna, look at that tattoo. Oh, God. You know what I mean? Yeah, I know. I made that up just so you make that face.
That is a good made-up bad joke. I love how bad that was.
I tell these war stories, but I tell them in the present, which is even more humiliating.
It's like, war story, Jim, that was this morning.
Yeah, exactly.
It just happened when you came in.
And Eric has told us twice at Peter's other interviews.
Eric's now in studio to tell us.
Wait, what am I now?
You're very important. You have to go somewhere else.
I have to go.
But that's
I think they got a whole list.
Not on our side.
I think you got a whole list of places to go.
Yeah, they're dragging you around promoting,
But
huh?
Pete, just so you know,
a bit of a promo.
sometimes we do say that it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Say what?
They're
saying you gotta go.
Oh, it's great.
It's not the case here today.
Yeah.
See, I need to learn those tricks. We got
a million of them.
Is telling me we gotta go.
We got a million of them.
So we're gonna see you after these messages.
On the street stuff?
Terrible.
We're doing remotes. We're doing remotes, videos, sketches.
I'm trying to get a feel for the show.
If people go on YouTube and watch the, you could play something on the air, which is something we did called Romano Sings. That plays on the radio.
Let's do that.
Yeah.
Pete Holmes.
Let's plug it properly. Yeah.
The Pete Holmes Show premieres Monday, October 28th. I'm really excited about this. It's going to be on at midnight.
It's after Conan on TBS.
Yes, of course. And I hope you become a regular, brother.
Thanks,
Very
man.
cool, man.
I'd love to be back. I've listened to you guys since since way back. I love you.
PeteHolmes.com and Pete Holmes on Twitter.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jim.
And we're going to And what does this thing need a setup or no?
This is just a parody. This is the sort of thing we're going to be doing. This is if Ray Romano put out a best of album.
You're going to do that, though, too, where it's like you have celebrities come on and go, you're going to set up the clip? You're going to play some clips?
I'll tell you this.
I always
not
loved that.
one guest we've booked so far, I'm not allowed to say who they are because they're not nailed down. Not one of them is promoting anything.
Really?
Isn't
Just
that
coming
fun?
on.
I like that, too.
We're taking advantage of that whole midnight, not too many eyes on us.
And this guy's just hanging
Under the
around.
radar.
They would love to do something like that.
Well, remember when Rickles would drop by the Tonight Show?
Oh,
you
it's
can't
classic.
fake
Yeah.
that
Yes.
rapport.
Right.
I want it to be like, this is true. This guy just popped
I think
in.
you get a lot more out of someone if they're not promoting anything because they're so focused on that project. And if you we've had guys just come in and it's the best sometimes.
Yeah.
And we ask, what do you promote? They're like, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
No, I love when an actor talks about their current project, and then you say, "What was it like?" And they're like, "Oh, the director was great. Everybody was nice. Fascinating interview." Fucking vapid
it was a
zilches.
dream working with Keanu. I mean,
Yeah, really nice guy. Oh, really,
sweetheart.
terrific director. Really, hang yourself.
Well, this was a real pleasure. Thank you for having me. I'm sorry I have to go.
No worries. Pete Holmes, and this is one of his bits.
One of my comedy bits.
Finally, the most recognizable voice in America sings.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Ray Romano sings the greatest hits of all time on 2 compact discs.
Come, my lady, come, my lady. You're my butterfly, sugar, baby.
Romano sings.
Straight up now, tell me you're really gonna love me forever.
And the hits just keep coming.
Sweet Caroline. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. I know who I wanna take me home. Hey, yo, I don't like your girlfriend. Oh no, I think you need a new one. Hey, yo, I could be your girlfriend. Yeah. Do. Oh.
Only $19.95 plus shipping and handling. And if you order now, we'll throw in free of charge Romano wraps.
His knees are weak, arms are heavy, there's vomit on his sweater. It's spaghetti.
Invite one of America's top comedians back into your home. This time on your stereo. Romano sings.
Oh, that's fucking funny right there. Pete Holmes, everyone. Whoa.
Oh, went into something else. There we go.
What was I going to say? Jimmy's got a plug, I think.
What?
Yeah, Jimmy's leaving today.
Yes, well.
Where is it? Is it,
I'm doing Doylestown.
It
It's
is
totally
Doylestown,
sold out.
okay.
Doors.
I think in 2 weeks I'm at Stitches.
Oh, you heal up.
2 weeks you're in Rochester.
Is it Lancaster next weekend?
And Rochester.
Then Rochester in 2 weeks. And the reason Rochester is regular price tickets, I am working on materials because we have travel expenses and shit like that. It's like, it's we have to fly up there.
Jimmy, you don't have to justify anything.
That's
right.
I've seen Jimmy Norton. He's
don't
very
matter.
funny.
Albany's on sale.
Oh, yeah, Albany's on sale. When am I there?
Oh, the whole city?
Month.
Next month in November.
Oh,
Yeah, you can purchase Albany. I don't know.
oh.
Albany is on sale for next month. I'm
what
doing
if
the
it's
shows up there.
affordable?
And then November 1st at the Beacon with Dice. I'm thinking there's tickets there. And that's it. I mean, Lancaster next weekend, Stitches.
Ooh, stitches.
And don't forget about the Opie and Anthony podcast. Doing
course.
very well. This one's doing very well. It's poop stories from the whole gang.
Yes, we take it highbrow.
It's not poop bits. These are just stories about poop.
Right.
Eventually, we're going to do the poop bits on the podcast. So please spread the word of the Opie and Anthony podcast.
Do that.
All right. We might be back.
We'll see what happens
We might be back.
after these words.